Live. What's up, everybody? This is G Mr. Drew here to welcome you to another episode of the Andrew Glowczewski Experience. This is going to be episode 231. Going to continue. We're going to finish up this one. I'm going to start rendering it right away, and that'll probably be like a short video. Just render it out, finish it up, and then I'll be on right afterwards. I got time today, tomorrow, and all that. Got some days off from my job. So yeah, let's this will be a short video of me just coloring this one, and then yeah, the next videos for the rest of the night, maybe two, three of them. Let's hope, because I really got to get bang some out. Like I said, my goal is to finish up this page in which I have 8 squares left. So if I could do at least 3 squares tonight and then do 4 of them tomorrow, I mean, that's hella work, but that's what I'm here to do. So yeah, man. Let's just jump into it. I'm G Mr. Drew at G Mr. Drew on all socials. Follow, like, and subscribe. Links are in bio. Check out my website, gmrdrew.art. You can contact me through there. Everything I've ever done through there. Da 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 da. You know, if you like this kind of content, yeah, man, you can hire me on Fiverr, or you could join my Patreon for $3 a month, or if you just like to support artists, starting at $1 a month. You know, it's all regular. But yeah, what do I have? Sorry, my mom my mom's texting me. Uh, so I got Teching 101 talking in the background. I'm gonna have some Top Hat Gamer Man talking about Ninja Turtles, Urian from Street Fighter 3, Super Smash Land video game, and I don't know if it's a legit video game or not. And Max Durant talking about his or his I don't even know. He always says the stay yellow, and he's gonna explain why he always says that. And then yeah, that'll probably fill up the rest of this video that I'm working on now. But then I got some Assassin's Creed, and then some what's his name, David Finch stuff. So that's all gonna be playing in the background. I'm gonna let Teching finish talking about the latest chapter. We're already like past, we're 2/3 into this video. So he's talking about the Sanji and Marco and King and Queen and all that happening. That was super epic. Uh, yeah, man, let's rock and roll. Let's just do this.
If only you would have just married Pudding, we wouldn't even be in this mess right now, allying with the Peace Pirates. This is all your fault, Sanji Vinsmoke. I mean, failure of a Vinsmoke, or failure of a Germa. And he has him right in his sights, and he's about to take the shot when, boom, out of nowhere, Nekamamushi, like, you're now just... Wait, actually, what are doing here?
You're now.
Scratches Perospero up and just lands the hit on him as he shouts, I'm here to avenge Pedro's death. And at this point, I can only imagine that Perospero is just like, I am done trying to reason with you people. I was not responsible for his death.
You people? What do you mean, you people?
Up. I didn't do anything. I was just there. Right? So I think Perispero's done with it, though. He's just like, fine, whatever.
Sorry.
I'm responsible for Pedro's death. Let's go, giant cat. Let's fight. Okay. So they're beginning their battle. I hope Wanda and Carrot show up at some point, because that would be fun to see them all fight there, for vengeance. But we'll see where it goes. So Zoro's being carried away. However, King kind of lands right in front of them. Like, where are you going with him? And he lights up a giant fireball, and he's about ready just to throw it at Zoro. When at that point, boom, Marco shows up with his technique, Immortal Thistle. This is the same technique that I believe he used when Kizaru was firing the attack at Whitebeard back at Marineford, and like basically Marco turned into like a flaming blue shield, and he blocked the attack, and he's like, you can't attack the king so easily. Ironic, because he's using it against King right here. But Marco's back up and rolling, and he's like, he managed to block the attack right there. So he still has some gas in the tank, but, taking on King and Queen at the same time for a long time. He held them back for a a good chunk of this fight until Sanji showed up, okay? And now, what's up with Zoro? Well, I'll tell you what's up with Zoro, but actually, no. Before we get to that, we have to talk about this, because this is a big thing involving the lore. I'll be making a video about this. I don't know about this week, but I'll be making a video of this at some point. Marco hints at what kind of being King is, okay? What his race is. And so Marco states, you know, a while ago I used to hear rumors.
Are we blurry?
And really just that. It's
Let's
just
focus.
some gossip. It's
There
just
we
some
go.
rumors I was hearing. But there was a certain race that could conjure fire, and they lived on top of the red line. And it's like, and you're King the Fire, or King the Wildfire. I wonder if they're connected. And that's all we really got here. Okay, now, as to just give you an idea where I'm at right now with this, I am really happy Oda went this route with it, because the red line has always been stated just to be this, it's the only continent in all of One Piece. It's a giant continent of red rock that stretches around the entire world, but the only places of interest in the entirety of the red line is Marijois. And then Fishman Island, I guess, but that's way at the bottom of the red line, not on top of it. So far, the only town or city or settlement or anything that existed on top of the red line was Marijois. And then the red port, which is at sea level. Okay, so that's kind of built on the red line. But when it comes, like, you start to think, like, okay, there's this giant continent that stretches thousands of meters off of the sea. Are there other towns or cities up there? Or is it just Marijois? Granted, if it's so high up, unless you are Marijois that has access to the red port and everything, it would be difficult. If you can't farm, can you farm? Or is there lakes on top of the red line? It's a massive continent. You'd think there would be. So I'm glad that Oda is exploring this. It could be a thing where the red line, if the red line is a natural thing, which I'm not really 100% sure on that. It might have been something artificially created to divide the world in half. But, regardless of whether or not it is or isn't, if King's species, if King's race lived on top of that red line for years and years, and then all of a sudden when the world government took over, they're the ones that wiped them all out because geography is everything. So, like, we want to be kings of the hill. Like, literally kings of the hill, lord of the mountain or whatever, right? So they wiped out all of King's race, built Marijois, and King was the only survivor that managed to get away. We don't know how old King is. I mean, King might be hundreds of years old for all we know, right? He's covered up in the mask, and his race might age slower or different from humans and fishmen and merfolk. We just have no idea. So there's a lot of mysteries involving King, and also the fact he has black wings, oh, what about this? So the red line is not quite as tall as the White Sea or the White Sea, but it's up there. So one would actually say that if you live in the White Sea, you go one layer down to the White Sea, and if you go a little bit below that, you would probably reach the top of the red line, okay? So, like, what if it's like back in the day, if you were an exile from Sky Island, they would just kick you off and you would land there in the red line, and that's where, like, King's race, like, propagated there. Possibly. They already, now keep in mind, like, there's a lot more than just one Sky Island. Skypiea and the culture of Skypiea does not mean it's the same culture all over the world in every single Sky Island. Weatherio was a Sky Island, and they were completely different from the Skypians and everything. It was an artificial Sky Island, but still, So there could have been, like, Sky Island that was above, like, a certain area of the red line, and they exiled, certain members of their tribe by just kicking them off, and they landed on top of the red line, and they just began to make a settlement there, and they lived there for a couple hundred years, and the world government took over, and then they wiped them all out, except for King. But we'll talk about this in another video at some point in the future. So, Marco is there, and he's, like, flapping his phoenix wings, and Queen charges up his cyborg Lazor, and he's like, all the Whitebeard pirates should be dead and gone by now. And Marco, you gotta love Marco. Marco's like, hey, whoa. I'm not here to fight. I just showed up to block the shot and drop some lore involving King's race. Is that cool with you? He's like, okay, I'm actually just here to tag out and pass the torch, okay? And so at that exact point, Sanji shows up, and Zoro finally breaks out of his splint. All of the bandages, all of the wood just snaps at once, and Zoro's like, I am revived! And he just pops out, takes his sword, which I guess we're all wrapped up with him, and takes all the bandages off, and then in this amazing double-page spread, we end out the chapter with Sanji using Diabo Jambe, Mutton Shot, and then Zoro using Suntoryu, Purgatory Onikiri. And so, boom, Zoro slices King, bam, Sanji kicks Queen in the face. Actually, the angle at which Sanji is like kicking looks like he's about to dislocate his damn leg. But okay, it works for him. Whatever. And so, boom, he hits Queen. Boom, he slashes King. And then there's a moment there, everybody's cheering in the background, like, whoa, you guys did it, Zoro's back, for a limited time only, but he's back. And then we had a scene where Zoro just kind of looks over at Sanji, he's like, hey, twirly eyebrows, if we managed to defeat these guys, and if Luffy did defeat Kaido, Sanji's like, yeah, I know, we'll be one step closer to that. Luffy becoming Pirate King. And that's the end of the chapter right there. No break next week, so that's pretty good.
Fuck
But anyway, yeah, that was such an epic moment where they start to realize, they're still in a situation here. They're not going to be able just to be out of this. Like, oh yeah, just take out the Tobiropo, take out the All-Stars, kill a giant dragon, we'll be good. No, there's still lots of parts of this fight that are left. But Zoro and Sanji kind of acknowledge at the same moment, because they're there on the battlefield at the same time now, with Zoro back up in action, they're just like, hey, we're almost there. Like, if we win this battle, we don't have a lot of time left until he becomes the Pirate King. And of course, that's what they want to do. They are the wings, and even the caption at the end is just like, the wings take flight. The wings of the Pirate King, as Robin referred to Zoro and Sanji in the last chapters. This is what they are. Their dreams are important. Zoro wants to become the strongest swordsman, of course. Sanji wants to find the All Blue, of course. But their main goal is to support Luffy at this point, okay? And they don't have a lot of time left for that to actually become realized, okay? So that's really important. Don't just overlook that one scene as like a cool one-liner, like Luffy will become Pirate King. No, this is the point in the story where you should actively start to think, okay, no, he's going to become Pirate King. He's been saying it for like 23 years or 24 years or whatever, but it's actually getting to the point where that's going to happen now. So, yeah, that's the chapter. Once again, I apologize for being, in a separate area and not wearing a suit and having to rely on Larry over here.
Not wearing a suit.
Anyway, thanks for watching the video. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting week on how videos are going to be out. I think what I'm honestly just going to do is not do anything too clever with like theory videos or discussions. I was thinking about just going through the different like chapters of Shonen Jump this week and just filming a bunch at once and then just putting them out throughout the week just to make it easier on myself. They won't be super long videos, but at least there will be videos out, so I'll just make a quick video talking about Black Clover, My Hero Academia, Dr. Stone is really good, and Mashal. Might as well throw Mashal in there as well. So yeah, I'm thinking I'm just going to do that this week. But no, this was a really good chapter. Let me know down below on, let's just go down the line here. So what do you think about the Tobiropo, first of all? Do you think the Tobiropo are gone? Do you think they're all defeated? Technically Drake is still alive and active, but he's defected. What I mean is, do you think Who's Who and Sasuke are going to get back up specifically? Because I think they're the strongest. What do you think about Denjiro? Where's Denjiro heading? What about the other scabbards? What they're going to be up to? What's going on? How Raizo and Fukurokuju's fight's going to end? How do you feel about Fukurokuju's belief in the ninja way, in the One Piece ninja way, not the Naruto ninja way, but this sort of ninja way, compared to Raizo's perspective on it, fighting for Odin, basically seeing themselves as ghosts, fighting for their master. How do you feel about that? The big question, of course, is King. King's race and his connection to the Red Line and everything like that. I don't think Marco was like teasing us, like he actually knows, and he was just not lying, but he was just like being coy about it. No, I think Marco was really just being like, I was on Whitebeard's crew for like 40 years or something, for a long time. I heard some rumors that a species like kings existed and they can manipulate fire. They have like pyrokinesis. I heard they lived on the Red Line. I don't know where on the Red Line. I don't know what they were called. I don't know the story behind it. I don't know where they went. All I know is I heard rumors, and that's all Marco knows. But he would know because he was traveling with Whitebeard for most of his life, and he was a Yonko, so he would have heard things. And then, of course, Zoro is back. How long is this drug going to last? How long is he going to be able to fight? I'm going to say for probably one King battle. One battle against
One King
As soon as
battle.
the battle with King is over, he's going to try to maybe go help Luffy fight Kaido, but then he'll be like, oh, and then his body will give out and he'll collapse
Turn into a
again,
cross
and
joint
he'll even be in more
again.
pain. Well, anyway, that's the video. So yeah, just play it by ear this week and see where everything goes. Thanks for watching. Thanks for all the support, everybody. This will be Tech King and Larry signing out. I have a broom. Bye, everybody. I should sweep up around here.
That's so stupid.
Ladies and gentlemen.
gentlemen, Big Daddy Top Hat here. When it comes to the world of video games, most non-video game licensed properties have a solid history of under-delivering when it comes to entering the gaming world. During the classic era of the Turtles, however, the Turtles franchise would end up putting out a cornucopia of quality content. Turtles video games are some of the most fondly remembered titles of the late 80s through to the mid 90s, with all-time greats such as Turtles Arcade and Turtles in Time under the franchise's belt. To this day, gamers respect and fondly remember these classics, leading some fans to go as far as programming their own games, paying tribute to these wonderful days. Perhaps the best known example of this is probably Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Rescue Palooza, a huge fan game featuring a huge roster of characters to choose from that took influence from various classic Turtles titles. The high quality fan made video game we are looking at today, though, has somehow slipped almost completely under the radar, with not even a long play or let's play being present online to show gamers what this is all about. In this video, we shall be taking an in-depth look at this rather underappreciated gem, which comes in the form of a quirky fan game that deserves way more attention. This, ladies and gentlemen, is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Cowabunga, a Game Boy inspired video game. Yeah!
Yeah.
World of the classic era of the Ninja Turtles, as mentioned earlier, there are plenty of great games featuring this awesome foursome that are out there to appreciate. While probably the arcade and home console titles appear to receive the most love and admiration today, the brand would also see the release of an amazing little trilogy of games on the 8-bit monochrome Nintendo Game Boy. Perhaps it is the lack of colour with these games and overall simplicity compared to their home console counterparts that results today in these games' stronger points being somewhat undersung. But there is no denying each of them did bring something different to Nintendo's popular handheld system. While most do not give these titles perhaps the appreciation they deserve, a gentleman by the name of Oscar Celestini obviously feels quite differently. Oscar, a man who was born in Italy in 1984, grew up both watching the Turtles and playing the Game Boy, eventually choosing the interesting career choices of working as a cartoonist, colorist illustrator, and someone who dabbles in both pixel art and video game development. The man has worked for the likes of DC Comics and others under his belt, but it will be this indie game developer's Turtles passion project that grabbed my attention to inspire me to make this video today. You see, Oscar had made a rather unique decision to create a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles video game for PC that features graphics that are inspired by those that can be found on the Game Boy. Oscar explains that he has loved the Turtles since he was just 5 years old, and felt this was a great way to both celebrate and express his love for the franchise. The man envisioned a simple old-school platformer with graphics that offered just 4 colours on the screen in order to try and give it that old-school Game Boy sort of feel. Now for me personally, this was one of those games that I discovered by accident through browsing on the information superhighway. At first glance, looking at this project, it simply led me to assume it had never actually been completed, as it is somewhat rare to try and look up long plays or let's play footage of a game on YouTube and get no results in return. Clicking Oscar's very own video game trailer though provided me with the download link necessary to access the full game, and what a fun little title Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Cowabunga would actually be. The moment you boot this game up, the game's great music created by Gianluca Pappalardo begins to blast out of the PC speakers, instantly suggesting that players may be in for a treat. The game offers a basic Game Boy-esque introduction that depicts the Turtles in their live-action movie form. An interesting stylistic choice for the title, considering none of the big games released in the 90s opted to feature the Turtles movie designs over the likes of either their comic book or animated TV show counterparts. Oscar Celestini comments that he opted to create all the sprites and backgrounds for the game in line with the style of a 1990 movie, an artistic decision that he made purely on the basis that this piece of Turtles media was his all-time favourite. Between stages, there are even cutscenes that help progress the story, with the first of these suggesting that Shredder has kidnapped Splinter. The images that were collated for the game, along with the title's unique story, were both created for the game by Simone Granata. As for this title's gameplay, as mentioned earlier, the game offers good, wholesome, solid 2D side-scrolling fun, similar to that of which can be found in the first two Turtles Game Boy games from back in the day. Although, with it being a Game Boy inspired PC game, the creator did make some choices to make the title feel more comfortable when being played on modern hardware. For example, the game plays in a 16:9 aspect ratio, which is of course the perfect shape for modern PC screens. And gamers are given a choice of visual styles between black and white, green monochrome, or a choice of whether or not to add arcade-like scanlines. Personally, for most of my I opted to play Scanline 3 in monochrome green, as that style choice felt the most Game Boy-like to me, so therefore I was most comfortable with those particular visuals. The game takes an obvious leap out of many previous Ninja Turtles video game playbooks, in that players have the ability to switch between all four turtles at any point during a stage. Like the original Turtles NES game back in the day, each of the heroes in house shells have their own independent life bars, so when one is running low on health, it is often wise to switch one out for another to avoid a game over. The turtles appear to vary in that they each have a different weapon with slightly varying reaches. However, from my observations, the differences were mainly aesthetic. Controlling the green team, players must platform through 5 different stages with even bonus levels in between, all of which we are going to cover now. When beginning to move through the game's first stage, players will likely quickly note that they are in the sewers, and that there are foot soldiers and mousers laced through the level that can be taken out by the use of one quick, satisfying slash. Gamers with a keen ear will notice the epic music that can be heard in the background, which is an awesome remix of the first stage music from the original 1989 NES Turtles game, offering up an awesome new chiptune rendition. In fact, most of the great music in this game are updated tracks from Turtles games of the past. It is awesome to hear and very nostalgic. Throughout the stage, there are multiple layers of platforms and ladders to ascend. These platforms are littered with pickups and collectibles, with some being located in smashable crates. Items you can collect include ninja stars that can be thrown, pizzas that of course replenish health, and turtle shells that give players additional points. There are also 20 ooze canisters that can be found throughout the entire game, that can be gathered as an additional challenge for those who have experience playing this one. At the end of the first stage, players have the opportunity to take on aerial laser shooting opponent Baxter Stockman, who does not offer too much of a challenge. Between stages, as mentioned earlier, the game also features mini-games. These bonus levels are beatable by successfully throwing ninja stars at oncoming foot soldiers for 30 straight seconds. If players are able to keep this momentum up for a solid half a minute, they are rewarded with a whole pizza. That sees their entire team's health replenished. This much needed prize makes these bonus levels particularly tense, especially nearing the end of the game, where getting life back can feel like a make or break situation. Knowing that every time I won it increased my chances of beating the game, I certainly got a lovely dopamine hit every time I completed one of these. There is also a stage that features a Manhattan skyscraper theme that requires a lot more jumping than the first level, including needing to jump over bonfires and later jumping from actual building to building. This stage culminates in a boss fight against the iconic duo of Rocksteady and Bebop, the bumbling but slightly more threatening version of Vulcan Skull. The game's challenge steps up massively on stage 3, where I gained my first few game overs throughout the stage. The reason as to why this area is more death-inducing than those seen previously is that the area is laced with ninja traps, such as spikes that shoot through the floors and walls, resulting in the creation of lots of turtles kebab skewers for players who don't know what they are doing. Navigating to the end of this portion, though, allows players to encounter a boss battle against franchise favourite Slash, who is always cool to see. Stage 4 sees gamers move through a more mountainous region, which sees the introduction of laser shooting rock soldiers into the game, which culminates with a boss battle against Krang, before finally moving on to the 5th and final stage, which of course is the legendary Technodrome, the last challenge setting of various Turtles games from the classic era of the franchise. As one would expect, there are more traps and enemies here than any other place in the game, with even maze-like elements that involve teleportation placed within to cause a spot of disorientation in the final throes of this awesome little game. The last level also marks the only stage in the game where two separate boss battles take place, the first of which is a rematch against Krang, this time using his android body, then finally against the franchise's primary antagonist, Shredder himself, who rather annoyingly killed me on my first attempt, so I had to play this one-credit game from scratch all over again. I must say though, I did appreciate the lack of respawns, as overall I feel it added to the game's tension, and it was fun memorising the patterns in order to beat this relatively short fan-made experience. All in all, I must say that I was thoroughly impressed with what Oscar Celestini and his small team were able to come up with, creating a rather interesting passion project which you can feel the love exuding from. I enjoyed every minute of this one, and I am quite frankly baffled it has not been talked about more in the past. The game seems to have been completed back in May 2018, and appears to have had very little in the way of media coverage. In fact, as mentioned near the beginning of this video, I seem to be the first YouTuber, to my knowledge at least, to cover this game in any capacity whatsoever, as there aren't even any Let's Plays or long plays up that feature the game. Bearing all of this in mind, this title, in my opinion, is the very definition of a hidden gem, and considering that Oscar has made it free for all to play, I jolly well think people should be experiencing this game. Overall, I think it's a wonderful little title that brought a smile to my face. So why not click the link in the description to give it a download yourself? So ladies and gentlemen, that was the story of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Cowabunga, an awesome Game Boy inspired Turtles game that can be experienced using PC hardware. If you yourself are aware of great fan games like this that have somehow slipped beneath the gaming radar, then I and others would adore it if you could point us all in the right direction in the comment section down below. If you would like more videos covering underrepresented gaming content, or are just a lover of fighting games, wrestling or beat 'em ups, then consider subscribing to Top Hat Gaming Man right here on YouTube. I upload 2 new videos every single week designed for your entertainment. Finally, if you want even more content and would like to see some of my videos before the rest of the world, then all of my Patreon backers currently have access to my coverage of the confusing history of Renegade, the first ever beat 'em up, and River City Girls Zero, the River City Girls prequel that is set to come to the Nintendo Switch shortly. Not only that,
Nerdachi!
credit and a shout out for your
It's a raid!
what I do. So without further ado,
¿Qué pasa?
shout-outs go out to Sebastian Velez, a Murder of Crows, Carl Johnson, Halo Paulo Lopez, Nostalgia Collector, Ben Harrigan.
Welcome, I'm doing some experimental coloring here. It's based off of the heavily lit scene.
Computer Man, House of the Ted, Gary Pinkett, ECU Professor, Kid Anime, Justin Wang, Anne McNamara, Holmes Gonzalez, Instant Gratification, Monkey Man, Shovel, James Bishop, JB, Michael Wall, Wesley St. Heath, Fellatio, Langston Miller, New, Brian Barry, Sarah Powell, Blaming Renee, Marvin O'Liga, TOG Driver, Bernard NG, Richard G. Jurek, Dan Van Damme, you were on, John Bates, David Bowell, Chris Fisk, Mike Bruno, Rick67, Antonio Rodriguez, Craig Jenkins, Casey Wrights in Spaces Die, Andrew Kazansky, Alex Summers, Gunther Hendricks, August Piazza, and
Yeah, thanks, Mugen. Here's a few of them. I noticed on the last stream my camera was pretty far back, so I zoomed in a little bit.
Last month on the channel, we looked at every video game appearance of Gil, a character who is debatably the true villain of the entire
Oh, I feel you.
franchise. Evidence that
I've been eating cookies all day.
Does he function as Street Fighter 3's final boss, the latest game in the Street Fighter chronological timeline, but he also holds the role as the leader of the Illuminati, a secret society who were pulling strings behind the scenes, even throughout the
let me see, is this the color? No.
While Gil is fanatical and far from a good person, at least he attempts to present
There we
himself
go.
as a
This'll
benevolent
be-
leader with a compassionate nature. His brother, on the other hand, who also serves high up within the same group, is arguably way more sinister. Orion believes that the secret society should rule through fear
Oh
and
no, is this marker
subjugation,
dried up?
functioning as a
What's going
totalitarian
on?
regime
This is a
with
brand
him
new marker.
ruling
You better
over
not be
all
dry.
tyrants. These despotic tendencies make him arguably the most dangerous and threatening man who
Alright, take care, Nardachi. Yeah, go
So sit back and relax.
fill your stomach up with all that delicious
Delicious
food.
each of his video game appearances to date. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the terrifying story of Urian. Yeah. In 1997, the long-awaited numbered sequel to Street Fighter II, known as Street Fighter III, would finally arrive. The game that carried a subtitle of A New Generation. And it would chronologically occur after the event of the Second World Warrior Tournament. And would feature an almost entirely new roster of characters, with only franchise favourites Ryu and Ken making grand returns. This title that took place after the death of M. Bison saw the heart.
So how you doing, Mugen? What was Nardachi doing? She's playing the game?
The Illuminati's leader who held claims of
I know she's always playing like some neat side scroller. And me as like a person who likes like beat 'em ups and button smashing games, I like side scrollers too. They're right up there with them.
While such powers at glance may seem like they were gifted to him from unearthly sources, in reality they are abilities that he has gained due to the use of operations and genetic enhancements that the Illuminati performed on him in order to increase his overall strength and speed. Gil's parents, who were high up within the secret society, subjected both him along with his brother Urian to these genetic experiments, which were combined with a rigorous hand-to-hand combat training program. Through this period, both young men were positioned as potential candidates as the Illuminati's next president.
Guacamole.
Gil
That's
being
dope.
awarded the responsibility, with Urian being written off.
I never heard of it.
Due to being deemed more emotionally unstable than his more mature brother.
Sounds dope though.
Urian instead would be declared for
Sounds like a
vice president.
food fighter type of game.
Between Gil and Jesus Christ are consistently drawn. Urian, on the other hand, is often represented as a Judas-like figure, with him first being introduced into the Street Fighter franchise in Street Fighter III Second Impact, the second iteration of Street Fighter III. Speaking of Judas comparisons, in this game he even carries the nickname of the Treacherous Disciple, which further alludes to biblical references. As mentioned earlier, just like his brother Gil, Urian also has a megalomaniacal godlike complex. But even more frighteningly, rather than seeing himself as a bringer of light, or an entity that will bring a golden age to humanity like Gil does, Urian sees himself as more of a Greek or Roman god, the sort of gods that are infamous for their arrogance, who will ruin the lives of mankind if ever they defy them. Gil's design and moves found in Street Fighter III further exude his associations with gods of this era, which is emphasized even more by his Greco-Roman inspired hairstyle and chiseled bronze physique that literally looks like that of a statue of a Greek god. Urian holds many materialistic goals and exploits, with parallels being drawn between his leadership style and that of which can be found amongst leaders in the final days of the Roman Empire. Basically, the entire Roman ethics system had degraded into immorality and degeneracy prior to its collapse, traits that Urian appears to share. Speaking of links to ancient Rome, it is speculated that the name Urian is a mis-Romanization of Julian, a Roman emperor known for his strict rejection of Christianity in favor of Hellenism, matching Urian's motives. While Urian's similarities to the name Julian have been acknowledged, it is also noted that Urian is a real but obscure name from Welsh and Arthurian legend, literally meaning privileged of birth, which correlates directly with his parents being high-ranking members of the Illuminati, along with his entitled attitude. Linking back to the Romans, though, once more, there are also similarities between Gil and the infamous Roman Emperor Caligula, who is also documented to be extremely
Metroidvania with Mexican background where you could play as a luchador. Oh shit. That sounds super dope actually. I gotta go check that out.
As the human incarnation of Jupiter, the Roman god of sky and thunder. Caligula was so fiendish that there was a point in history where he would forcibly throw a section of the crowd into a pit of carnivorous animals simply for his personal amusement. So I can certainly see the comparisons here. The authoritative and tyrannical individual renounces all noble traits and elements that would normally be associated with leadership, viewing them all as completely worthless. Like many despotic individuals holding positions of power, Urian is extremely distrustful and suspicious of anyone else but himself, with a constant vigilance against
Let's see,
insubordination
what color are
and
these?
betrayal to allies and enemies alike. Aware of all the people who he has wronged, Urian obviously holds instinctual fears of possible retaliation, so always has his guard up in an almost Macbeth-like fashion. Urian's sadistic tendencies all partially linked to how he views himself as the secret society's true emperor, rather than his brother Gil. And while he may hold a deep hatred of his sibling, he hates the prophecy that led to him becoming the leader of the Illuminati even more, and as a result seeks the destruction of everything, even the
First
secret
game and a
society
sequel.
itself. In terms of Urian's actual abilities in combat, he shares the
Yeah, let
same
me
fighting
check this
style
out.
as that of which we covered on the
Guacamelee.
channel last month when we looked at Gil. This is obviously for experiencing the same training program and genetic enhancements as that of his brother. However, Urian's grasp of the more advanced techniques taught through this program are more limited than that of his arguably more skilled brethren.
And then
This
change
results in
Moli to
Urian relying on
melee.
more charged-based special attacks. There are other differences between the two though. For example, Urian can wield lightning and make his body metallic rather than controlling fire
Make my
and ice
screen
like
a
his
little
sibling.
brighter.
Along with being able to shoot electrified spheres, Urian can also perform knee drops, headbutts, and charging tackles, which can all
Holy
hit and
shit.
shock opponents. Despite his shortcomings compared to the more physically gifted Gil, Urian is still more than powerful enough to completely overwhelm opponents through the constant extreme pressure he puts them under in
Oh, this guy look like Super Beast though.
his unconventional moveset, which is difficult for combatants to anticipate. In Street Fighter 3,
Oh, that's
Urian
what's
can
up.
perform a super art known as the Aegis Reflector, a powerful barrier that can reflect incoming
Fuck yeah.
projectiles. Or a move known as Temporal Thunder, which allows him to use powerful metallic spheres. In combat, Urian often shouts out phrases such as crush, destroy, and kill while performing his moves. Apart from further highlighting his destructive nature, these phrases also allude his arrogance and emotional instability. In Urian's debut in Street Fighter 3 Second Impact, the game features the fighter
Alright,
trying
let's
to stake
keep
claim of the
this
Illuminati's
going.
presidency, which ultimately sees him challenging Gil to a match to prove his superiority once and for all. In this encounter between the genetically enhanced brothers, Gil intentionally chooses to throw the match, allowing Urian the presidency. Frustratingly for Urian, though, he soon learns the truth, and that the presidency mattered little to Gil, as the prophecy had demonstrated that Gil was the rightful emperor, a position that outranked the president within the organization. A scenario which, of
Yeah,
course,
they fucked over Urian real bad.
to no end. The game would also highlight the G Project, a program that Urian was in charge of that focused on remodeling the human body. This is how the fighter in the game known as Necro would be created from a mutation of a Russian national. In the next game, Street Fighter 3 Third Strike, the G Project would continue, along with Urian's desire to overthrow Gil, which included the creation of a genetically altered super soldier fighter known as 12. This inhumane program included the kidnapping of many individuals for experimentation purposes, including that of a young girl who was in the care of Chun-Li. This, of course, leads to the iconic Street Fighter pursuing Urian to rescue her, with him agreeing to let the child go if Chun-Li will fight him for his own personal amusement, with the experienced Chun-Li successfully managing to defeat him. While many of Third Strike's endings are contradictory to one another based on who players complete the game as, if victory is achieved with Urian, it shows him taking leadership of the secret society, destroying the preservation facility where Gil is sleeping, declaring a new era has begun. Gil's ending, though, shows that he survived this attack fine. While the game marks the end of the Street Fighter timeline, more of Urian's backstory would be revealed with his emergence as a DLC character in Street Fighter V, a title that serves as a story prequel to the events of the Street Fighter 3 games. In the game's main story mode that involves most of the game's characters known as Shadow Falls, Urian makes multiple appearances throughout this play mode, with it being revealed that he is an opposition force to that of Empire Shadow League, and their plans to wield the Black Moon super weapons. Fellow Secret Society member Helen in the story uses advanced technology to revive Charlie Nash from the dead, in part of a plan to stop Bison. Urian, however, harshly reprimands her for devising plans without his knowledge or consent. Urian ends up mocking Charlie, referring to him as no more than a weak-made doll, and challenges Charlie to a fight, claiming he wants to see if he has what it takes to beat M. Bison. Urian not only defeats Charlie, but sadistically attempts to inflict further pain on him, but is held back by newer Street Fighter character Rashid. Urian angrily unleashes an Aegis reflector at Rashid for opposing him, but Helen manages to calm him before he leaves, informing them all he'll be watching them all with great amusement. Later on, Urian criticizes Helen for her failures when he becomes aware of Charlie's inability to kill Bison. But at the end of Shadow Falls, it is revealed that she has instead been aligned with Urian's brother Gil the whole time. In Street Fighter V, it is of note
Tricked
that
him again.
Urian trades in Street Fighter III's slightly unsettling, almost naked attire for a more professional business attire as a primary outfit. This major change is said to have been implemented due to American staff working at Capcom finding his original design distracting, particularly during the story mode cutscenes. Back in Street Fighter 3, prior to a fight, he would wear a similar outfit, but it would be completely incinerated as he performs a transformation prior to each bout. In Street Fighter 5, he remains fully clothed, even in a transformed state. But his more classic attire is also available for more voyeuristic gamers. In combat in this game, Urian maintains many of his attacks from Street Fighter 3, but gains even more moves, including gaining the V-skill Metallic Aura, which enhances his special attacks with a hit of armor by covering his skin in metal, while his second V-skill, Indignant Thunder, powers up his metallic spheres to become akin to his Temporal Thunder. Throughout Urian's early Street Fighter V character story, it is revealed at this point that Urian is already working on the G project, with a scene depicting him moaning about a foul fighter they have created known as 11, alluding to the later creation of 12. 11 ends up being the vessel that is used so that Helen can revive Charlie Nash. An interesting scene also occurs in China, where Urian pays a down payment to Balrog to deliver the data of the Black Moon's operation chains in exchange for his service. Balrog's obsession with money above all else leads to a discussion between the two, with Urian snapping into a rage for being questioned, resulting in the two fighting. Perhaps Urian's most important part in his character development in Street Fighter V occurs within Gil's character story, with Urian watching Gil battle against a mysterious character known as G via a live stream. Upon Gil's victory, Urian furiously destroys the monitor using his fist, with him forcibly ordering Helen, aka Colleen, to bring Gil to him, which he reluctantly agrees to do. The two super athletes end up doing battle, with Gil picking up a win against his unstable brother. This leads to Gil touting the reason for his victory was due to an already written prophecy, with Urian angrily declaring that he will destroy the accursed prophecy, leaving him in a fit of pure rage. That just about rounds up Urian's canonical story as for now, but he has made a few other video game appearances over the years. While Street Fighter 3 characters have received
Oh yeah, I love that style, man.
amount of cross-promotional love, that of which their more famous Street Fighter 2
I mean,
counterparts
clearly I'm like into color and a lot of colors. And then the whole Mexican aesthetic. You know, I'm half Salvadoran, so and you know the Mexican sort of designs and things like that play well with
Urian's biggest role, though, in other video games occurred when he showed
yeah.
up as a playable character in Capcom Fighting Evolution.
play well with the Salvadoran in me.
Between Street Fighter, Darkstalkers, and Red Earth, which saw Urian representing Team Street Fighter 3. His ending reveals him ruling over an army of 12 looking super soldiers, who all turn into replicas of himself. All in all, though, looking back at his story across the Street Fighter games, Urian is a bitter and twisted individual indeed, with a sense of entitlement and loss of power that altogether makes him one of the most dangerous people in the Street Fighter universe. Sure, his brother and leader of the Illuminati, Gil, is pretty scary with his god complex, but Urian is way more terrifying when we consider that he views himself in the same godly light, but has no issues inflicting as much pain and suffering on others as possible. This despotic tyrant is by far one of the most unstable individuals in the franchise, whose cruel and totalitarian nature, combined with his position in the secret society, arguably make him a bigger threat to humanity than even Ed Bison. Urien could potentially be the most evil person in the entirety of the Street Fighter timeline. So, ladies and gentlemen, that was the terrifying story of Urien. Let me know in the comment section down below what you thought of today's content. And what do you think of the Urien's character compared to other villains from the Street Fighter franchise? Further to this, I'd be curious to know which fighter you would like me to cover next, as I have a whole playlist looking at various characters from the Street Fighter universe for you to go back and see. If you fancy regular doses of fighting game content, be sure to like this video, hit that subscribe button, and ring that notification bell to ensure you never miss one of my videos. Finally, I would like to give a huge thank you to those who back my work on Patreon, assisting me to continue working on videos like this on a full-time basis. So special thank yous go out to Sebastian Velez, A Murder of Crows, Carl Johnson, Heyo, Paulo Lopez, Nostalgia Collector, Ben Harradine, Corey March Sr., Capcom vs SNK, VXL Gotham, Lauren Finch, Evan Border, Philip Lamb, Azra Archive, Keith Ferguson, Jock Varela, Michael Cullix, Ego, Jordan Duran, Angel Light 5, Ian Boyle, Nick Daniels, Princess Zana, Daniel Daly, Computer Man, House of the Ten, Gary Pinkett, EC Professor, Kid Anime, Justin Wang, Aaron McNamara, Hermes Gonzalez, Instant Gratification, Monkey Man, Shuffle, James Bishop, JB, Michael Hall, Wesley Stain, He, Felicio, Langston Miller, New Brian Barry, Sarah Powell, Blame It Renee, Marino Liga, TOG Driver, Bernard NG, Richard Stu Stewart, Dan Van Dammit, Luis Beyond, John Bates, David Bow, Chris Fisk, Mike Bruno, Rick67, Antonio Rodriguez, Craig Jenkins, Tracy Wright, Since Spaces, Zai, Andrew Wazansky, Alex Summers, Gunther Hendricks, August Piazza, and everybody else who backs my work.
God damn. Nardachi.
Big Daddy Top Hat here. Recently on this channel, we have been looking at the range of
I've seen a
bizarre
game so
games
culturally
that
Latin American.
they even exist. From the Russian
Oh yeah.
Rage,
I'm always loving that Crunchberry look.
to the
Captain
main
Crunch.
Game Boy-inspired Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game. In today's content, we are going to be
Definitely says military.
when we look at another ambitious title that would be created to replicate the Game Boy's 8-bit green monochrome style. In this case, I feel that visuals probably speak greater than words, so let's kick things off by looking at the epic trailer that was made for this game.
Oh shit, so this is a real game? Holy shit. Apparently there was like an 8-bit Game Boy game of the Smash Bros. Super Smash Land. Holy shit.
So yes, my wonderful viewers, your eyes are not deceiving you, and indeed an epic 8-bit monochrome Game Boy inspired remake of Super Smash Bros. Exists for all to play and experience. So within this content we are going to go back and look at the unique development story behind this game and see what exactly this quirky release brings to the table. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the story of Super Smash Land, a Game Boy style Smash Bros. Remake.
Damn.
Yeah. To start today's co-op, we need to take ourselves back to the dawn of the 2010s. This is obviously the pre-Nintendo Switch era and a time period where Nintendo still had separate home consoles and handheld systems. In fact, at this moment in time, their hardware install base was beyond insane, with their most popular game console of all time, the Nintendo Wii being their current gen system, and the most popular handheld of all time, the Nintendo DS being their current handheld. As you can see, the company had two systems on the market simultaneously, both of which were printing money, with each device offering very different features and completely unique libraries of games. Back then, this would make us ponder a lot of different questions, such as what would a full-blown Pokemon game be like on a home console? Or what would Superman 64 be like on a Nintendo DS? But of course, one of the biggest questions of all, though, was what would a handheld Smash Brothers game be like? Of course, we would finally receive the answer to this question in September of 2014 with Super Smash Bros. For Nintendo 3DS. But in 2011, Nintendo handheld fans would try to answer this question themselves with the creation of Super Smash Land. This brings us to a young lad at the time known as Dan Thorness, an ambitious individual who would begin working on this project back while he was still just in college. You see, Dan had decided that he wanted to challenge himself by creating a homebrew title that was simple in scope, but paid homage to something that he already loved. Being a long-term fan of the Super Smash Bros. Series and an appreciator of old-school Game Boy aesthetics, Dan chose to begin creating a game that would attempt to replicate Smash Bros.' simple yet deep gameplay, but in the style of an 8-bit, 4-color Game Boy game. In the earlier stages, he would create a simple mock-up that would incorporate these ideas together, resulting in a demo that his friends would enjoy so much that his heart would become set on developing it into a full game. To help make this dream a reality, Dan would collaborate with a pair of musicians to handle the game's music and sound effects, and help bring this project to life, who we shall touch more on very shortly. As for the development of this game, Dan would handle all of the other elements on his own, working tirelessly for 6 months to make the game he had previously envisioned. In order to get the word out there, a great chunk of time was also spent editing the game's flashy trailer, which I showed off earlier in this video, a great little promotional piece that was designed to grab prospective players' attentions. The free-to-play PC game was available for all to enjoy as of 2011, and what an imprint this title would leave on gamers' minds for those that have gotten round to experiencing it. So obviously, up until this point, we've talked about the concept behind this game, but what exactly did it manage to deliver in order to faithfully create an 8-bit style monochromatic Smash Bros. Experience? Let's discuss. Obviously, being a fan game with gameplay that was created from scratch by just one man, the title offers a small but humble selection of fighters. Upon powering this game on for the first time, gamers can take control of Smash Bros. Nintendo 64 originals, Mario, Kirby, Link, and Pikachu, arguably the most popular 4 fighters from the original 12 who appeared in the first ever game. Intriguingly though, the game instantly will grab gamers' attention by indicating that there are 2 further fighters that players can unlock, who we shall get to soon. This stylistic, almost hipster remake of Super Smash Bros. Is not only created to look strikingly like a Game Boy game, but it has also been engineered to play the same way too. In that to control the action in this game, players can only utilise 4 directional keys to emulate a D-pad, and a further 2 action buttons to imitate the A and B buttons functionalities. Directional keys are obviously used for movement, with one of the buttons being assigned to jumping and the other attacking. But combining directional taps with the attack button, various moves can be performed. In total, managing to deliver a surprisingly fun and intuitive control scheme that is simple to get to grips with. The title functions surprisingly Smash-like for something so, well, Game Boy-esque.
Focus.
Clearly, a lot of love and care was put into the game, with the title's impressive 11 different stages to battle on being reflective of this. These stages that mostly pay homage to classic Nintendo games replicate the likes of Hyrule Castle, Whispy Woods, Princess Peach's Castle, and Saffron City, offering a ton of nods to not just Smash Bros. History, but Nintendo history overall. Speaking of these wonderful stages, there are plenty of nice touches mixed in. For example, Whispy Woods comes equipped with a wind mechanic, much like in other games, and Saffron City sees other Pokemon pop up, such as Chansey, Venusaur, and Electro, for example. In fact, it's not just Smash Brothers of old that the game imitates either, as Dan Furness tried his hand at creating some completely unique fighting stages for the game, such as Lavender Town, for example, which features ghost Pokemon carrying platforms. Another example of this is
What?
a new Majora's Mask stage that not only depicts the iconic Clock Town, but even the pesky bloody moon staring ominously down at the battleground. Even more interestingly, as highlighted in the trailer at the start of this video, the game features a Tower of Heaven themed stage, with the Tower of Heaven being another monochromatic Game Boy inspired indie title, which has further links to this game, which we shall touch upon shortly. Now, I guess it is worth speaking about the unlockable characters that this title has to offer. One of these turns out to be Mega Man, which is made all the more
What?
interesting considering that the game came out several years before Mega Man's official Smash Bros. Debut. Mega Man even
Get
comes
the
with his own
fuck out
Dr.
of here.
Wily
You
stage, which
serious?
looks strikingly like the level that would officially pop up in Smash Bros. Down the line too. So in some ways, this game offers demakes of stages and characters that did not actually exist in Smash yet,
Yup.
but do so as of now. Although I'm not quite sure how semantically I am supposed to refer to such things. How Mega Man does differ though from his later official incarnations is by delivering quite a different arsenal of moves to that of which would go on to be associated with his moveset. Lastly, in the character department, Dan Furness decided to include a playable character in the game who is yet to this day to be picked for Smash, and one of which I doubt likely ever will be chosen either. I am talking about none other than Vaporeon, the water-type Eevee evolution, who was one of the original 150 Pokemon. Got to catch them all. A stable part of Vaporeon's attack and game plan is his neutral attack, Water Gun, which inventedly leaves a puddle of water on solid ground. Using his up ground or up air attack will cause Vaporeon to walk to said puddle, allowing it to innovatively strike unsuspecting opponents or recover in situations whereas otherwise it would be impossible. Overall, making Vaporeon a unique and fresh character within this game indeed. Throughout a playthrough, 3 different play modes can be experienced. The first of these being an arcade mode. This, as expected, plays very much like the
Alright, I
original
need to
game
fill
mode that
these
can be
in.
found in the Nintendo game. Players go from stage to stage through a cool little challenges. The first stage in this mode consists of a one-on-one battle, followed by stage 2 with another one-on-one fight. Stage 3 introduces
Alright.
another Smash Bros. Trope, where players get to face off against a large team of
Alright,
opponents.
you. Let's
In this
try
game's
this
case, a pack of
again.
either 20 Kirby's or 20 Pikachus. Stage 4 sees players in another one-on-one encounter, with the final stage introducing players to the mode's final opponent, Mega Man, with this instance functioning as the character's first in-game appearance. Mega Man is certainly tougher than any other fighters players would have come up against previously, holding 2 lives and more intelligent movement than previous adversaries. Defeating the Blue Bomber allows gamers to add him to their selectable roster of fighters. The game also offers an endless mode that presents exactly what it says on the tin. A fight against an endless slew of opponents until gamers are finally KO'd on this final battlefield-themed stage. How long can you survive facing off against 3 silhouetted opponents simultaneously? Lastly, the game features a versus mode where gamers can manually select which Smash Bros. Character they want to face off against, choosing to have between 1 and 3 opponents to fight on the stage at any time. All of this wholesome fun is laced perfectly together with the game's music, with much of the game's sound and music being placed in the capable hands of Brendan Becker, a man who is known in the music world under the title of Inverse Space. Early into the development of this game, Furness intended to construct the entire game alone, and with little knowledge of composing music, looked to port over tracks and sound effects from existing Game Boy video games. As the vision for the final product got bigger and bigger though, Furness came to the realization that the game needed a soundtrack and feel of its very own. So he would commission Brendan to write new musical arrangements and sound effects for the title. Ending up a taller task than originally intended, a musical artist by the name of Flashy Goodness would be brought on board with the project as well, who would mainly be tasked with creating tracks on most of the hidden stages. Flashy Goodness was a man who had composed music for a retro Game Boy inspired game previously, of course being Tower of Heaven. Having Mr. Goodness work on both projects married up the 2 games further, making a nod to this fellow modern monochromatic game within Super Smash Land all the more poignant. Speaking of the game's music, I cannot praise it enough really. The game is
I know, it
chock full
sounds
of
so good.
earworms made up of many arrangements from classic Nintendo games. The entire soundtrack fits the look and theme of the game perfectly, complementing the graphical style to help create a more authentic Smash Bros. Game Boy-like experience. Players at home are bound to find joy in Super Smash Land, a game that is set to tantalize the nostalgia taste buds, triggering many mustachio memories of Nintendo days gone by. Overall, the game is great fun, and the title offers a faithful creation of what you would imagine Smash for Game Boy may have actually been like. Smash Land's great art style, great gameplay, and music is enough to capture any Nintendo gamer's attention, with to date the title being downloaded and played over 500,000 times, with the game still being available to download and play for free via visiting supersmashland.com. While these fan projects may seem like cashless, fruitless endeavours to some, Dan Foulis would prove all wrong with his work, as following the release of this game, he would be appointed as a lead designer at the Microsoft Studios site of Killer Instinct Season 1. The next chapter of a Super Smash Land story though would occur in April 2014, with Daniel leaving Microsoft to make a new independent game titled Rivals of Aether, a game that was published on the Xbox One in 2017 and later the Nintendo Switch in 2020. The game would function as the spiritual sequel to Super Smash Land and would once again be a title that was mechanically inspired by Super Smash Bros. The game was released to rave reviews with critics everywhere seemingly loving this game. Rivals of Aether is living, breathing proof that dabbling with and making Nintendo fan games can give creators much needed experience in not only becoming more rounded developers, but also grabbing employers and investors' attentions in order to make official projects down the line. If this young man had not decided to create an 8-bit monochromatic Smash Bros., then there would likely be no Rivals of Aether, a game that even Nintendo themselves are making healthy profits from today, considering the title is now available on Nintendo Switch. All we need now is some Rivals of Aether references in official Super Smash Bros. Games, and we would have gone full circle here. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that was the mad story of Super Smash Land, the 8-bit Game Boy inspired Super Smash Bros. Game. If you have played either Smash Land or Rivals of Aether, let me know your thoughts on the games in the comment section down below. Or, if you are familiar with any particularly interesting fan projects I have yet to highlight, be sure to point some of those out to me as well. If you enjoyed today's video, I have a cornucopia of content like this out there for you to go back and enjoy. So if you want to be notified of my future work, be sure to hit.
Today, I'm providing you with a quick video to hold you over until next week. Even though this is a quick video devoid of gaming analysis or mental health advocacy, I nonetheless believe it's going to make every single one of my regular viewers happy. Why? Well, it's because I will be addressing the number one thing that you guys have been asking me about for the last couple of years. What the hell does stay yellow mean? And where did that phrase come from? Yes, I'm sure if you have eyes capable of seeing, you were able to discern that it's because my YouTube avatar is a Simpsons character. But that's not part of the reason. I'm going to give you the full explanation in video form. That way, when somebody asks what stay yellow means, you can direct them to this video. So, back when I hit 50,000 subscribers, you might recall that I did a video to celebrate that milestone. That video was my top 10 list of favorite YouTubers. At the top of the list is a YouTuber named Bash12349. As I explained in that video, Bash is my all-time favorite YouTuber for one simple reason. With every new video he puts out, he manages to say or do at least one thing that makes me laugh my ass off. He is so wonderfully random with the things he says or does in his videos. It's part of the reason why I and his other regular viewers see him as the king of bootleg. Not because the man is bootleg himself, but because he finds ways to make everything deliriously goofy. One example I'll provide you is this reoccurring joke that he used to make around 6 years back. It was a really simple joke. Like, if it were said by anybody else, it wouldn't be funny at all. But just the scenarios in which he would make the joke and the way he said it, it would just always make me crack up. So, The joke was he'd be in a dialogue with a video game character, right? Or just addressing an NPC in a game that he's playing. And then, right when he was about to leave that NPC, he would say, "Stay black." Stay black, in case you somehow don't know, is a phrase that African Americans use in order to express solidarity with other African Americans. Well, the funny thing about Vash is that he would say that phrase to everybody, regardless of their skin color or their species. I recall him doing it a lot, but I can only find this one example from his Life is Strange playthrough. When the main character, Max, fails to console her friend, Kate, Vash says this to Kate right before he leaves.
Whatever, stay black. Let's get out of here. This place is fucking depressing.
Right? As you can see, Kate clearly isn't black, but it's funny nonetheless. So I just thought to myself, maybe I can steal that and turn it into sort of a joke with my Simpsons character. Because, people already love making jokes about me actually having yellow skin, like The Simpsons, and they want everybody to know that's not jaundice or hepatitis, right? I just identify as the Simpsons skin. So I thought I would continue the joke by adding this new thing on top of it. Therefore, I took Vash's joke, replaced the word black with yellow, and that's how the phrase came to be. But ever since I first started saying "stay yellow," the meaning of the phrase sort of evolved from a stupid joke into something more than that. Now it has a dual meaning. On the one hand, if you were to say "stay yellow" to somebody, particularly someone who isn't of Asian descent, that would sort of be like Max Derrick fans signaling to each other. Kind of like how the members of that cult from Grand Theft Auto 5 would say Kiflom to everybody. But then you guys might be like, what if they are of Asian descent? Well, that's the joke, right? Just be careful if you say that phrase to an Asian person, though. That way you don't get into trouble. But you might ask, what does "stay yellow" mean? Well, it means the same thing that "zigga zigga" meant when the Spice Girls said it. It can mean anything you want, just as long as it has something to do with being a Max Derrick fan. So, "stay yellow" can mean stay smart, or stay kind, or stay awesome, which is what I prefer, or stay aware of the importance of mental health, or stay on the path to higher consciousness. I think those are better things to express solidarity with, right? Rather than the color of one's skin. Those are things that people of all different backgrounds can unite under. And I think we've been doing that in this community. That's why you guys are all so smart and kind and awesome. One other quick thing before I conclude this video. Some of you might have wondered, well, okay, why do you use a Simpsons character as your avatar? I'll answer that question in two parts. One part is the obvious one. Yes, I am a huge fan of The Simpsons. It's my favorite TV show. The second part of my answer, though, takes me all the way back to 2007, when The Simpsons movie came out. Some of you might remember this, but when the promotion of The Simpsons movie was going on, there was a website you could go to called simpsonizeme.com. There, you could upload a picture of your face to the website, and the website would use that picture to turn you into a cartoon version of yourself. When I did that on this website, this was the picture that came out. So I've had this picture ever since then. Then, when I started doing videos on my YouTube channel at the beginning of 2015, I knew that I didn't want to be on camera. I wanted the ideas and topics that I discussed to be what was of importance, rather than the face of the person speaking them. Plus, I like my privacy, so when trying to figure out how I would address people without being on camera, I thought, hey, I can use the Simpsonized version of me. So I did, and the legend was born. Sorry if you guys were expecting a more epic explanation, but that's the reason, and I'm not gonna lie to you. But, it's still cool. What was originally an innocuous, meaningless choice on my part grew into this online identity, where I'm identified as the yellow guy, and my fans say "stay yellow" to each other, which is great. Anyways, that's it for today. Before you go, just a quick update on what to expect video-wise from me. Next week, I'm going to be doing another Dark Souls lore video. Hopefully, I will have that ready on Monday or Tuesday. Then, soon after that, I'll have an analysis on a movie, which I've been wanting to discuss for a while. I got a bunch more lined up after that as well. Don't worry. I just don't want to spoil the surprise. Until those videos come out, you know what to do.
Stay yellow. All right, man. So yeah, I think this is gonna be it right here. And let's make sure I don't write the wrong date like last time. So it's 22, 21. There we go, man. I just wanted to color this one in on this video. I'm gonna be right back. Probably take a little break, eat some more of these cookies that I got here, and then yeah, we'll start the next one, which I think might be similar. I did all these photo bashes a while back, and this is the one that I pulled from this time when I started this one a couple streams ago. I was talking about how difficult, or was it just last stream? Just last stream. I was talking about how difficult it was going to be for me to like try to interpret this with the new understanding that I have of this character since I made this photo bash. Because that's the whole point of doing all this concept art is to bring my conceptions into one steadfast reality. And yeah, I've established a lot of things since I made this bash. So I was like, holy shit, how am I gonna do this? This one was a little less literal and a little less well, whatever, just like down the normal path that I've been doing with the likes of these, where these are pretty spot on to the photo bashes that I did. And yeah, so the other one that I want to make, because this one, yeah, was, this one had, like, I had I guess a couple thoughts. So I did one with like, with him just a little bit worn and tattered, and then one where he's like really worn and tattered, but it's pretty much the same picture. So I think I'll probably just jump back on and work on this one now. And I guess it'll kind of have similar colorings and similar things going on, but I'm going to try to switch it up a bit. I'm going to try to see what I can do to make it. So, yeah, I'll work on that in between streams. But yeah, I'm going to be right back tonight, right back on. And then hopefully this won't be like a dissected video. I'll probably just do the whole thing through and through, and then maybe one more video tonight, again all the way through and through. What would be the next set? Oh, right, one that's even more monstrous. And then yeah, there's some okay, I'm just looking at the next set of portraits for this guy. So yeah, this is gonna be fun. And this one is super colorful, and yeah, it has a little bit more of his torso. So a lot of the details are getting lost now. I was wondering if I wanted to just go heavy on the shading, and I decided not to. This one was actually kind of crazy. Where is... This is why I take pictures of everything so I can kind of go back. Like, this is where we started with this one. Are we blurry? Oh, I guess bringing in this bright screen. Hold on. So yeah, this is where we started, and I really didn't go heavy with the blacks in the shaded areas. Probably should have, since this is such a small picture. Should have just shaded it a little bit more hardcore. That's why everything's looking a little muddy here and there, but hopefully it's legible enough. Feeling a bit inspired to do more concepts of my own characters. Yeah, man, I remember, I still think about that one. I guess it's that one character that you have that's super popular. It's the horse with no head, but it has like kind of like bird hands, bird feet, or something like that, with like a flame head, like Mr. Silverton or whatever. I forget him. I forget the name and all that stuff, but I remember what it looks like, and I was like, oh man. You gotta shoot me that character, and then I'll maybe I'll do a drawing of it, because yeah, that one was super dope. But I remember you were going through a whole bunch of them when I saw that one character. You got a bunch of OCs, man. Mentis Ignis, probably that was probably him. It was a quadruped, no head, but replaced with a flame. But yeah, I remember that was one of my favorite things that I seen. And you were talking about how like, oh, a lot of people like that one. So yeah, it was a strong design there. But yeah, for sure, work on some OCs. I remember you were drawing. You were drawing the bee the last time, but you said that was like a Servine body. Yes, that one. I don't know what Servine is, but I'm guessing it has something to do with like bovine. Like bovine creatures are like cows or something. So I'm guessing Servine is like a branch off that tree. But yeah, you got to shoot me that one, and then I'll have to come up with, maybe I'll just draw it one day when I'm, if I ever get ahead of my work schedule, which it doesn't seem like I'm super behind right now. But yeah, man, you got a bunch of OCs. You definitely focus on those. But I know you'd be working on a bunch of stuff. Art fight. Yeah, if I was, yeah, I'd for sure be working on that. Ooh, maybe that's one thing that I want to do. Maybe. There we go. Just one last drop I forgot about. Oh, you be modding Mugen? I don't think I have any mods. I wouldn't even know where to start. You got a mod for some people? That's dope. People give you that responsibility. And they trust you with their channels. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It kind of had horse-like, but I know that the front hands were more like hands, but it might have been like 3 fingers, maybe, like Nightcrawler or something. And then like the back feet, I don't remember, but they were probably like hoofs or something. Yeah, I've been wanting quadrupeds are hard. I go on YouTube. Let me see, because I know I have a David Finch video coming up. It'll probably be playing on my next stream. I know he's live right now, David Finch. I want to make sure I'm getting the right one because he talks about, or I watched a video recently where somebody was talking about drawing animals. So these are all his videos. Drawing, da 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 da. Monday night, how to draw guns. Oh man, maybe this was something else then. Let me see if I just look up drawing animals. But someone broke it down super easy. Like somebody talking about like drawing animals and quadrupeds and things like that. Was it Modern Day James? It doesn't say I watched it. Either way, I guess you could always like look it up and things like that. But I was watching a video about drawing quadrupeds and animals and things like that, and they were talking about it's all about the placement of the shoulder blade, where on people the shoulder blade is kind of like on our backs. You know what I mean? Like they're closer to the spine than they are on quadrupeds. And quadrupeds, their shoulders and their shoulder blades are more to the sides of their ribs. So I guess like if you took your right shoulder blade and pushed it more towards like, I don't want to say your armpit necessarily, but just more forward to the front of your body, so that way the shoulder blade is more towards the side of your body, and then your limb would shoot more forward, but when you're a quadruped, obviously it would shoot more down. If that makes sense. Why am I talking about this? Like, why don't I just draw this real quick? So drawing a human from the back, that's a skull, here's a spine, you know, shoulders, and, the rib cage is like this, so you got your ribs. If you can see this. And then for people, your shoulder blades are pretty much right here. They're kind of shaped like that. Are we just super blurry? Oh, we were super blurry. Okay. So for people, your shoulder blades are here. This is just like looking straight backwards, and then you have your hips. Like for animals, since their head goes this way, and let's say this is the snout, so you can see the direction. The spine kind of goes like this, and then the rib cage kind of goes like that way. So the ribs are running, instead of sideways like this, they're running down, whatever. The shoulder blade wouldn't be up or close to the spine like it is here. It'd kind of be a little more to the side here. So all the anatomy is similar, not exactly the same, but you squash and stretch the muscles, and you lower that shoulder blade, and now all of a sudden you have these long neck muscles, and then you have these giant shoulder muscles picking off from like a much bigger shoulder blade too. And then, but I could have swore it was a David Finch video, but I guess I could be wrong. But either way, like that's what I like when I watch a video, like a how-to video, and they break it down super simple. Oh yeah, so if I had to make, just one last visual thing. So if I was drawing this animal skeleton, like I'm drawing this human one, so this would be the skull, this would be the spine, and then, they have the rib cage, same as us, right? Instead of the blades being here like it is on the human, for the animal, the ribs are running sideways like this. The shoulder blade would be kind of more out here. You know what I mean? So you see the difference of the placement of it towards the side, less so like close to the spine. That's what I mean. Like the arms are just like a little bit more shot forward. And then it makes, the shoulder muscles are huge, and they're so tapered, like all the way from the neck to like the back straps. Like those muscles are huge, but they're all like very similar to ours. They're just kind of squashed and stretched in a different way. So yeah, that's usually the way I see it. And then ever since I like watched that video, I was like, ooh, I can't wait to draw like a dog or a cat or a horse. I was like, I can't wait to draw some shit that I can like apply that practice to. Little concerned that I couldn't find that video just now, but whatever. I'm sure it'll pop up at some point. Smushed into that shape, and then joints of the legs are more the same, but the limb segments Lengths are different. Yeah, that's the thing. I love when people talk about, oh, they have a dog knee. I'm like, I was like, oh, you mean an ankle? Yeah, where I guess the human leg from the side, is kind of like this, and you have the knee, and then the leg, the heel, and the foot, right? And then like the animals, like you said, they're real different. Where like the thigh is a lot shorter, and then the shin's a lot longer, and then the ankle is all the way here, and this is all heel, and then it's just their toes that hit the floor. You know, you know, it goes all the way back to that mammalian lineage that we all have, and it's like, oh yeah, the bones are all there. They're just kind of squashed and stretched differently, and utilized for different functions. I always like this design just because anytime I draw robots or like Kojima styled functions, that's kind of the aim. Back when I was like working on this guy, that's kind of what I was throwing in there. But none of these really get to it. See, like this, it's like that animal leg, but it's completely stretched. You know? So like here, his toes only touch, even though he's wearing like these sandals, whatever kind of sandals you call those. His toes are only touching, and then the heels shoot back. Same thing. Toes are only thing touching. But this is like fully extended. I guess this is a little bit better. I don't even know how to say it. Digitigrade leggies. Yeah, let me see. Do I have? Yeah, I guess you can't really see the legs in any of these poses. Like, you can't really see them too much. But yeah, that was kind of the idea, is that they're kind of like hind legs on an animal. But yeah, getting those front legs, that's basically the kind of the base structure for them. That's at least where I would start. But yeah. What are those? Oh. Oh, it's so stupid. What are those? Oh my god. Oh, I haven't seen that video in forever. Crocs, the best fighting shoes. Oh, certainly comfortable. Be like Kanye in a fighting match. I wonder. I'm gonna try something real quick. See if I'm live. Okay. Am I logged in? Oh yeah, I am. Look at that. I can hear myself repeating. Let me turn my volume down. Something that I haven't done is raid, because I'm always like filming or streaming from an IRL off of my tablet, and for some reason I don't get I don't get the option to raid people. That's why I never raid. Hate to just, leave you guys hanging if there's like an opportunity here, but I don't. Like, I can't even see if I'm. Let's see if I can do this. Twitch.tv/GMrDrew. I'm at my live video. Oh, is that. I could just do that? /raid. Like I could type that into the chat. I'm super old and know nothing. um, Old man vibes. /raid in like into the actual comment section. What? All right, let me. All right, so I can get out of there. Let me look. Oh shit. I got Eric Griffin playing Call of Duty and Justin Wong playing some sort of I guess a retro game. Justin Wong is like one of the top fighting game like Street Fighter fighters guys. He's like one of the guys who like popularized it along with that other guy in that old Street Fighter 3 Chun-Li versus Ken video. It was like Justin Wong versus what's his name? I also follow him. And then Eric Griffin. He's a comedian. If you ever watched Workaholics, he's Montez in Workaholics. Hosts one of the podcasts, one of my favorite. It's Riffin with Griffin, yeah. And he's playing Call of Duty. So, I'm sorry, guys. That's all I got. Is some retro gaming, maybe a fighter or Capcom of some sort, and then Call of Duty. Yeah, versus Daigo. There we go. That was his name. So Jay Wong, triple G's. Let's test this out. I might look stupid right now, but it's gonna be worth it. We're doing this for knowledge. /J Wong with 3 G's. Oh wait, it's got to be raid. /raid and then the channel's name. Super old man vibes. J Wong. So yeah, let's see whatever retro thing he's doing. Let's hope this works. I hope there's no more /s or anything like that. But other than that, thank you all for watching. Mr. Drew. I'll be back in a little bit. Love y'all. Peace. Unrecognized command. Come on. Maybe there's another / in there. Or am I not even able to raid? It doesn't even pop up for me. Raid. Oh, you got to put a space? Oh. Tricky, tricky. All right, second time's a charm. I don't think that worked at all. I'm not seeing any countdowns. Hmm. Yeah, I'm not getting any countdown. This is new territory for me. I don't know if I'm doing something right. Totally wrong. Oh, so like if I just cut this stream off, it'll just like send. Like the command is kind of like just in hibernation, and as soon as I'm gone, it like wakes up and it's like, oh hey, oh well. Now hosting okay, there we go. All right, so I'm just gonna cut this off and let's pray that this all saves, man. Y'all are great. Love y'all. Peace. I'll be right back.